Hi everyone, in this video we'll learn the super simple way to play the major pentatonic that opens up the whole neck.
So it seems we all know how to play the minor pentatonic, but Google how to play the major pentatonic and chances are you'll get this slightly awkward shape which, although it's technically a correct way to play the scale, when you come to play a solo it just doesn't feel as natural. So what if there was a really simple way to play the major pentatonic scale which was not only easier, more comfortable and more musical, but would help you to play all across the neck? Well, of course there is, and I'm about to show you. So there's a really simple shape we can use that works all over the neck. We'll be using the key of G major here. So to begin, let's just play a G major bar chord here at the 3rd fret like this. And the lowest note of this shape, this G note, is going to be our starting point. And the pattern is simply this: 1, 3, slide, 1, 3. 1, 3, slide, 1, 3. So let's break that down. We start at the 3rd fret here on the low E, this G note, with our 1st finger, and then with our 3rd finger up 2 frets to the 5th fret, so it's 1, 3, and then we're going to slide up 2 frets to the 7th fret, so 1, 3, slide, 1, 3, slide, and then over to the A string, and we're going to play our 1st finger, the 1, on the 5th fret, and then 3rd finger on the 7th fret. So we've got 1, 3, slide, 1, 3. 1, 3, slide, 1, 3. Now you'll find yourself using different fingerings when you come to play a solo, but this 1, 3, slide, 1, 3 pattern will ensure you remember the notes. And the notes are actually G, A, B, D and E. And these 5 notes are the full G major pentatonic scale. Of course, we'll look at moving it further up the neck, but this isn't some stripped down beginner version. This is the full G major pentatonic scale right there. Now, one important thing to mention is that the 2nd note of this shape, this note here, is really great for bending. Either full bends up to the B note above, or little half bends for a more bluesy feel. So now we know the pattern, I'm going to play a really simple solo over a track, and the chords I'm using are just G and C. So now we've seen how to solo in that first low position, let's start to move this up and across the neck. Now when we play through the shape, 1, 3, slide, 1, 3, G, A, B, D, E, once we arrive at this E on the A string, you'll see we have another G easily playable here at the 5th fret of the D string. And this G is also part of the G major bar chord we started with. We can simply use this G as the starting point to play exactly the same pattern again. 1, 3, slide, 1, 3. 5, 7, 9 on the D string, and then 7, 9 on the G string. 1, 3, slide, 1, 3. Exactly the same notes as before, but an octave higher. G, A, B, D, E. So now we can play the shape in 2 positions, it starts to become really powerful. If we play these 2 positions back to back, some amazing things start to happen. So our first position, 1, 3, slide, 1, 3, and then straight into our second position, 1, 3, slide, 1, 3, all together. So you'll see, firstly, not only are we moving up the strings this way, like many scale shapes do, but now we're also moving across the neck this way, which is really important for making fluid solos. And then secondly, you'll see we formed a little box where the 2 positions meet. So 5 and 7 on the A string, and then 5 and 7 on the D string. So on the A string, 5 and 7 is the end of our first position, and then 5 and 7 on the D string, the start of our second position. So these 4 notes form a little box, which is what I call the primary pentatonic box, and it's where you can focus a lot of your attention when constructing a solo. So when playing in a major key, a common riff to land on the root note might be this. So hammer on 5 to 7 on the A string and then land on 5 on the D string, our root note, and then you can combine this with bending on the second note of the pattern that we talked about before, and you start to see there's a lot you can do just with those 4 notes. Then you can decide to either move higher up or lower down using our 5-note shape. Something like that. So now let me solo again. I'll start low and move up the guitar, and notice especially how I use that primary pentatonic box, those 4 notes where the 2 positions come together. Okay, so now we're making some progress across the neck. Let's take it even higher. So when we come to the end of that position we just looked at on the D and G strings, 1, 3, slide, 1, 3, then we have another position we're ready to move into on the B and high E strings here, 1, 3, slide, 1, 3. Now this time we just need to move up 1 fret when we transition, just because of the way the guitar is tuned. So we get 1, 3, slide, 1, 3, up to the 9th fret of the G, and then we're starting on the 8th fret of the B string, 1, 3, slide, so 8, 10, 12, and then on the high E, 1, 3, 10 and 12. So all together. Now once again we form that primary pentatonic box where the 2 positions meet, so 7 and 9 on the G and 8 and 10 on the B. So even though the notes on the B string are up 1 fret, this is still a really comfortable position to play in, and you'll see notes around here used all the time. A really common lick would just be repeating these 3 notes. So hammer on 7 to 9 on the G string and then 8 on the B string. We've all heard that lick. Another technique worth mentioning is that when we bend the second note of the pattern, as we've been doing all the way through, this second note on the B string here, you can also add in the note on the top E straight above at the same time, which creates that classic country blues type sound. Now finally, I'm just going to add on one last note, this G here at the 15th fret on the high E. This just enables us to complete the octave and gives us a high root note to end on. So now I'll play a solo starting on the D string and moving up to the high E, and just watch out for those techniques I mentioned. So now it's time to combine all 3 positions we've looked at together, which gives us 3 octaves right across the neck. So all together then, nice and slow, low, middle, high, and end on that octave. A little bit quicker. So let me solo again using all 3 positions. I'll start low, work up and across the guitar, and then at the end I'll play a full run across all 3 octaves, ending on that top G note. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.